So I was going through my emails last night, and it's kind of odd. I got thousands of emails, and I appreciate you guys sending me the emails, and I appreciate your patience in me responding to the emails. But I also get a lot of spam, and you guys have already witnessed that in the comments, the amount of spam that gets thrown around. But I got an email, and it said, important, the subject line, important, must read, please share. So I don't know if you guys ever get this feeling, and it's like, normally you wouldn't do something, but in one particular instance, you're like, wait, there's something here. I need to ignore my initial reaction and open this. That's kind of how I felt. Normally with clickbait titles like that, I don't ignore them, but I don't put them at the top of the list. But for some reason, something told me, hey, open up this email and read it. Important, must read, please share. So I opened up the email, and it says, hey, my name is Derek, and please forgive me as I recall this email because I don't have it in front of me. We're actually right now not shopping, but walking through and browsing the public market here in Seattle, Washington. That's the other thing that was very interesting about this email, is the fact that I open it and the sender of this email, Derek, is from Seattle, Washington. It's like so strange, so odd. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of divine intervention, but anyway, so important, must read, please share. And it goes on to say something like, hey, my name is Derek, and I think he was like 39 years old. And he goes, hey, my name is Derek. I live in Seattle, Washington, and I've been watching your channel. And there's something that I really want to share with you that I hope you will share with your audience. He doesn't have a channel for whatever reason. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't make YouTube channels because there's a lot of different reasons behind why they don't make them. I mean, honestly, I hadn't made a channel for the longest, and then I finally decided to make one. So it goes on to read, says, hey, I got something important that I want you to share, if you don't mind, because I want to be able to help the community. I want to be able to help the family. And the family being the Kevin SHTF prep family, which, I'm so grateful to have all you guys around. And thank you so much for the views and the subscribers and the likes and the comments and the shares. And most importantly, the emails that, quite like this one, that bring so much value that not just, for me and you, but for everybody to share and help along the way and help get better prepared for SHTF. SHTF is going to take many forms, but right now it's going to take a financial form. And granted, here it's like a popular place, tourist destination, and there's a lot of people here from all walks of life and different parts of the world. But this would not be probably the most accurate indicator for the effects of the changes that we're seeing financially, as a lot of people here are here to spend money. And, this is like tourist travel, things like that. Now, obviously, there are some people who live here, and this is kind of like a normal thing to them. But that's also Derek. And part of his email to me. And, the crazy thing is with places like this, high tourist destinations and cities, for the people visiting, they don't realize how the impacts that tourism have on the people who live here and work here and rely on this for income and, sustainability, their ability to feed their families, pay their bills, pay rent, pay mortgage, pay car payments, and even, stash a little bit away for savings for a rainy day. And so he goes on to say, Kevin, I work in Seattle, Washington, and I'm in the service-based industry. And we have all felt the pain here during the pandemic, and we are now in recovery mode, but I feel as though we are in somewhat of a pandemic hangover in terms of our recovery. I'm in the service-based industry, and I have been in the service-based industry for many years. And even though we are kind of open back up for the most part, it is not quite what it used to be. And I work in a high-end service-based restaurant. He didn't want to name the restaurant, or at least he didn't. I don't know if he didn't want to, but he didn't. And we got these big buildings behind me, these hotels and these fancy buildings, probably mostly hotels, maybe some high-end apartments and condos. I'm not really sure. I've never been to Seattle before, so this is all new to me. But, he goes, I'm in the high-end service-based industry, and, we're recovering, we're reopening, but I feel as though we're in a hangover mode because the people aren't coming back like they were before the pandemic. He goes, now, the beauty of it is, or fortunately, here in Seattle, and this is new to me, like I said, I've never been here before, I don't know it. He goes, fortunately for me here in Seattle, as a server in restaurant, tourist industry, fortunately, we don't fall into what most states have as this extremely low minimum wage of like $2.13 an hour as a server. He says here in Seattle, I don't know if it's just Seattle, if it's just Washington in general, but he says here, we're at like $15 an hour, 15 something an hour minimum wage as a server. So he's saying like, fortunately, because of that, he's not super reliant on tips, being $2 something an hour. So you really got to rely on tips to generate your income. But on the downside, even at $15 an hour, there's two problems. One, the people aren't coming back like they were before the shutdown. This is the hangover he's talking about. And two, at $15 an hour, with the people not coming back like they were before and the volume they were before, with these businesses and restaurants seeing the revenues that they had before, on top of the increased cost and inflation of food and drink, et cetera, rent, insurance, everything that goes into running the business, all your overhead expenses have gone up, and the people aren't coming back, but the staff still earns a respectable wage. The businesses are deciding to keep their overhead as low as possible by keeping their hours short. So they close most places at 9:30, and this is on weekends. This is on Fridays and Saturdays that they're closing these popular restaurants and bars at 9 or 9:30, which is crazy. So he's saying, so not only are the people not coming back, they're not coming back like they were before. They're not open as long, so they don't have the opportunity to earn an extra $15 for an extra hour or an extra $30 for another 2 hours. They don't have that opportunity because the businesses are trying to keep their overhead as low as possible, so they're closing earlier. I mean, these are places that used to close probably at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I would assume, most bars, most restaurants, especially in popular tourist destinations. So he says, hey, look, I understand the situation, and, I just wanted to share with you what I've been doing, and hopefully you can share it with the family and the community, because he considers himself to be part of the family and the community. He's a subscriber. He said he's been watching for a while, and it can help someone else. So what he shared with me was this important message that I must read and share. So here we go. He shared with me something that most people may have already done or are already doing and don't quite know the name of it, or some people have heard about and again don't know the specific name of it. And his is a little unique because he's put a little twist on it, but basically at the end of the day, what it boils down to is he's doing something called retail arbitrage, so to speak. Retail arbitrage is basically where you can, it's what businesses do. All these businesses behind me, their goal is to buy something at a lower cost and sell it to people at a higher cost. We got grilled cheese sandwiches here. So they're buying bread and cheese and mayonnaise or whatever else they need to go with it. People selling flowers, organic apple cider. They buy what goes into it, and cinnamon works. They got cookies over here, and they're taking these goods at lower costs, and then they're doing what they need to do to present them in a way to sell to people for higher than what they pay for to produce the profits. I would expect that these places out here, they're probably going to want to turn a 50% profit, at least. Mainly for the fact that they're in a tourist-based industry. So, this isn't going to happen every single day of the week. And for some, it may not happen it may not be available every day of the year due to seasonal tourism. So, on our trip, we've been traveling and we've experienced different places and different locations and different tourist markets. And so we were actually talking to somebody in Wyoming, and they were saying that the tourist market there is almost year round because they have reasons for people to be there in the summer, and they have the ability for people to be there in the winter, and they don't have to rely on just one season, where some places like Grand Teton, which is an amazing national park, if you guys haven't been, check it out. They actually close in the winter because it's pretty much like inaccessible. So hang on one second, this guy's Harley chopping pretty loud. So some of those businesses there, they have to rely on tourism in like 6 to 8 months that they're open, because the park is closed in the winter because it's too snowy, it's too icy, it's too dangerous. The water's not available, pipes are freezing. I think the bear activity is pretty high at that point, and or not, maybe not. It gets pretty high as the bears are getting ready to hibernate. So there's multiple reasons why they shut it down. But the businesses that rely on the tourist economy every day matters. And when you lose a shipment, when you lose, like Canada, when you lose the ability to run a transaction because the internet went down, when you lose a day, a week, a month, that could be detrimental to your ability to survive. So the businesses have to be prepared, but most importantly, the people have to be prepared. And so what Derek was sharing with me was that he's been doing things to stay prepared. And he didn't even realize it until shit hit the fan. And he lost his ability to make money in the service industry as restaurants were shut down and people weren't able to hit these restaurants and bars like they used to. So he didn't realize it, but he was already prepared. He put himself in a position to be prepared, and he didn't even know it by doing what he was doing, retail arbitrage. So basically what that is these businesses, they buy things for less and sell it for more. Basically, that's what they do. But what he wanted me to share with you guys is something that we all can do. And like I said, some people have done it, already do it. They may not realize they're doing it. They may not have realized the name of it. And I'm sorry, guys, I gotta turn this around. He's rolling through here pretty hard with this RCF stanced tucking. And I just wanted to point out this Mad Washington RCF. Pretty nasty. If you guys want to know how to get one of those, click the link in the description, please. But either way, he's been doing this, and if you guys aren't aware, he's been doing this with Facebook Marketplace. He's been doing this with Craigslist. He's been doing this with garage sales. He's been doing this with somewhat dumpster diving. And people want to be in the video, it's crazy. And he's been doing this with all sorts of different platforms, and you guys can do the same. And I think the cool thing about it is like it doesn't really, like, by sharing this information, it doesn't really create like a huge competition where you don't want to share it. So you know, it's like some business ideas, like if I were to give certain business ideas or share certain business ideas, you know, it may not be the best thing to do, because then you're going to saturate the market and it's going to make it harder for you to execute on the business and be profitable. But this one, I think anybody can do it. And I think that's why he really wanted me to share it too. I think anybody can do it. And what it is he goes to, let's just say, the garage sales. So you go to garage sales and you find people basically giving away and they're trying to sell stuff, but at the end of the day, they're just gonna give it away. A garage sale, there's no money there, you know? They're gonna give stuff away. It's gonna be dirt cheap, pennies on the dollar. And what he does is he'll go to garage sale, he'll find something of value, or of perceived value, and he'll probably, you know, what he's probably doing is buying up a lot, because if you go to a garage sale, you start buying up a lot, it just makes it easier for the person holding the garage sale to unload a lot of what they have at one time, one transaction, one negotiation, and be done with it. You know, garage sale, people who run, if you've ever tried doing a garage sale, I did it one time, I'll probably never do it again, but the sooner you can get that thing over with, the better. Trust me. This dog is going crazy. I don't know what's going on with this dog, but he's going crazy. Maybe it's this motorcycle that got him all riled up. So what he'll do is he'll go to garage sale, buy things that he sees a perceived value, and you know, he'll collect them, okay? And he'll do it with Facebook Marketplace. He'll go on Facebook Marketplace, he'll search around in his area of things of perceived value. And now is more likely to be the best time to start this than any other time ever before, because people are going to start, and they have already started, selling everything. They're going to start, and a lot of people have already started selling everything as a way for them to reduce their overheads, get some cash, free up some space. A lot of people are selling things, get them out of the garage so they have more room for their for their stockpile. They're trying to get a few dollars, get some cash for the rainy day to add to their savings. And so you're able to get some deals. He's using apps like Let Go. He's using apps like Next Door to find these items, and he's buying them up. Bicycles, old jewelry, furniture, all these items that are of value, could be of value, right? And what he's doing is he's finding the ones that are like advertised the worst. They've been for sale for a while. They don't look good. The title descriptions are terrible. And he's going in and he's buying them up for nothing, pretty much nothing. And he's not the only one. I know people who've done this and do this on a regular basis, and they are putting extra money in their pockets on the side, on the weekends, still maintaining their regular jobs, much like Derek. He's still in the service-based industry, and being able to build up a little bit of a side hustle. I hope it's not too loud here for you guys. There's a lot going on this corner. But what he does is he'll buy up all these items, and then he'll clean them up if he needs to. But for the most part, they don't need much besides two things. They only need two things to make them profitable for him. And almost anybody can do this. I'll take that back. All right, almost anybody can do this. If you've got a cell phone or a camera that has been made in the last 5 years, you can do this. And what he does, and what a lot of other people are doing in this retail arbitrage game, and the reason why I say it's not really retail arbitrage is because he's getting these things from garage sales and Facebook Marketplace and the dumpster diving, so to speak. What he's doing is he's going out and he's checking dumpsters, or he's checking the curbs on the mornings of the trash pickups and grabbing up what he thinks is going to be items of value in this time and using them in his arbitrage. So it's not retail because he's not buying them and reselling them. He's just getting them for free. They're sitting on the curb about to be thrown away or recycled. We got to talk about recycling too. So hang on for that one. We got to talk about recycling too. So, but if you have a phone or camera that's been made in the last 5 years, you can do this. And what you do is you take these items and you take really, really good pictures of these items, and better pictures than the ad on Facebook Marketplace, better pictures than the listing on Craigslist, better pictures than they were already using that weren't getting these items sold. And then you make better pictures and you make better titles, you make better descriptions, you offer better contact and customer service to allow people to buy them from you. You know, it's like these things right here, whatever these things are, I don't know what they are, but no one is paying attention. Like, no, if you notice, everybody's walking by them. There's people here looking at fruit and they're interested in the fruit, and then there's people over here interested in whatever they got. I think it's more fruit over there, but these little things right here, no one cares about. So in this instance, in this situation, I would take these and I would rearrange them and I would present them in a much better light that makes people want to look at them, makes people want to click on the ad, makes people want to buy them. I don't even know what they are. Maybe that's part of the problem, is no one knows what they are. They're just hanging up on this thing and nobody even knows what they could possibly be. And that's what the arbitrage is. And it goes on. You can take these things, you can buy something off of Facebook that no one could sell, and negotiate them down to a low price, provide better pictures, better listing, better title and description, put it back on Facebook Marketplace and sell it like that in a heartbeat. Sell it like that in a heartbeat for more because of what, just that alone, just a better picture and a better title and thumbnail. And it doesn't have to be clickbait. It just has to be better than what was there. And all it could be is just a better informative description or something. So, and it works. You could do it on Amazon. You could do it on Facebook. You could do it on Etsy. You could do it on Craigslist, Let Go, Nextdoor. You know, there's so many different places you can do this. Now, like I said, we got to talk about the recycling. In part with the picking up the dumpster diving on the side of the curb, trash day, delivery, inventory collection, finding items, steel, heavyweight items of steel, aluminum, copper, during these collection times will pay dividends. Even if you don't sell them, they'll pay dividends if you recycle them, especially copper. Aluminum, you know, the heavier the weight, the better. They're gonna pay you by the weight. But if you're doing this and you're collecting things that you're gonna use in your arbitrage, and you find things that may not be of value, but they're heavyweight steel, heavyweight aluminum, heavyweight copper, that is going to be big. A big one is it's the bed rails, the basic iron bed rails that people typically toss out. Those things are heavy, and you just load them up and you recycle them and you get paid by the pound. And you know, these are simple hacks, simple side hustle ideas that you can do now, anybody can do now, to prepare financially, put some money away, sock some money away, start making that side hustle, passive side hustle income, sock money away, and have it for the rainy day when shit hits the fan and you possibly lose your job, or whatever industry you're in takes a huge hit, you stop getting tips or whatever. You know, somebody told me the other day that they were perfectly fine. They felt very safe in their career and the amount of money that they make, the likelihood of them maintaining this income level. They felt pretty good about their expenses as far as, you know, what their monthly costs were. And, you know, they didn't expect them to go up dramatically, but they were still preparing financially for their kids, because their kids were in like high school and college age. And they said, look, these guys, they're doing their best. They've always worked hard, got good grades. But if they lose their jobs, like they got part-time jobs, and I think one of them had a full-time job, but they were like, if they lose their job, they're gonna come back home. And at least the ones in college, they're gonna come back home. And, you know, we're gonna need to help them out. We're gonna need to support the family in the meantime, because it's, you know, it just is what it is. So it's like they're still interested in finding more ways to improve their financial situations, not because of them, but because of their family and their kids, that they realize, hey, look, we need to prepare ourselves for them in case they have a problem, because they can only do so much. They're young, they're doing the best they can, they're working, but they're going to school. and we don't want to interrupt their school and their education to force them in a position to only worry about money. So they seem fine, everything seems fine, but they're like, look, we're not going to be blind to the fact that at any given moment, any given time, we could see a drastic increase in our responsibilities as a result of our kids being negatively affected, and we just got to be prepared for that. So thank you, Derek. I appreciate the email. I don't know why I opened the email. I think it's really odd and strange that he just so happened to be in Seattle. So if I run across Derek here in Seattle, what's up? Or at least say hi, I don't know. But if you're watching, say hi if you see me. And, it's just kind of strange that I happen to open this one with this message to share, because I do think that it is important and vital, and I think it's going to be very helpful for anybody who's paying attention. And if you want to know more about it, just click the link in the description below, and we can chat, and I can show you guys how it works and how easy it can be. Now, don't think this is going to be something that you can just do it in your sleep, and it's going to make money on its own. You got to put in a little bit of effort. You got to put a little bit of work. If you're afraid of effort, you're afraid of work, then I don't know why you're even watching this channel, because you're not prepared. You're not going to be a prepper. Somebody actually said, "Don't be scared, get prepared." Okay, so. There's some craziness going on. A lot of things going on, a lot of things to be worried and afraid and fearful of. Michelle actually just said that somebody commented that Yosemite is on fire. And, these things happen. But if, you got to think, if you're a Yosemite Park employee, or if your business relies on tourism and travel to Yosemite and the park is on fire, you're going to be negatively affected. You're going to be impacted. Your business is not going to get reached. There's going to be reasons why you don't have sales and revenues and profits. Like, this is going to happen whether you own it or you work for it. You got to realize it, and this is being prepared for SHTF, and it comes in many forms, not just food shortages and empty shelves, not just high gas prices and diesel shortages, not just EMP strikes and cyber attacks, not just Rogers networks going down and cutting all lines of communications to banks and ATMs and debit and credit cards and police 911 emergency services. SHTF is going to happen so many different ways. Think about it. If this area we're in got flooded, because I think we're right here by the Pacific, if this area got flooded and access was shut down to this market here, this store would not have business. That store would not have business. These people would not be here. And everybody who works in these places, who relies on these incomes day to day, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year to survive, which I'm sure we're seeing rapidly rising rent and overhead costs here in the city. They're not going to have the ability to run these businesses and make these sales. And these people are hustling hard out here selling fruit and vegetables. They're hustling. They got to. They got to get your attention when you're walking by to buy this stuff, buy it up. I'm sure it's good stuff. I'm sure it's really good stuff. But, and we're actually going to check some of this stuff out, this farmer's market. And load up the van's pantry with it so that we can have some of the stuff on the road as we're traveling. But SHTF could be a flood in this area, or some form of detour in traffic that prevents them from the amount of sales and revenue that they need to survive. And you got to be prepared for that. So, Derek, thank you for the email. I really do appreciate it. I hope I didn't completely butcher the message that you were trying to get to me to share to everybody else. But I want you guys to understand and realize that these opportunities are possible. And if you want more, please comment below, let me know. And I'll be sure to bring you more. Because honestly, like I said, it took me a while to make a YouTube channel. My brother kept telling me to make one for the longest, and I just kind of ignored him. But here I am today, and I want to share this information with you guys. I want to share this knowledge and education to help you better prepare for SHTF 2022, SHTF 2023, SHTF 2024 is never going to stop. I want you guys to be prepared, and ways of making money, ways of perfecting your budget, improving your budget, ways of increasing your income, ways of reducing your overhead expenses and your monthly costs, and ways of getting in my video. But SHTF is prepared for all that, and food prices, and food shortages, and global conflicts and wars that are going on. They all play a part in preparing. They do. They honestly do. But if you guys want to know more, comment below. Get a video like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on notifications and jump in the description and click the links. Let's chat. Let's talk more about this. Send me an email. Sign up for the newsletter. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.